Yeah, man, people, welcome back, man. Welcome back to the JPL show on Nicardo Media House. You get me? I say, bless upon yourself, people, for welcome to tuning in back again. You know, I'm happy. You know, every time when I do the JPL show, I'm always happy. I'm always in an extra spring in my step them. You get me? I say, but you know, they are freestyle. I got freestyle. Yeah, man, I got freestyle and chop up the 5 games them that played over the weekend and the game that played Monday. But I must say, but they've not said not yet. Cause I'm not gonna show me at that, but bless up Budget Henry on himself, you know. Oh, no, Budget Henry, you know, make him know, say, the youth, but the Nicardo Media House JPL show, tell him, say, yo, bless up himself. You get what I say? No bad blood, no hard feelings, but it's just all about trash talk. You get what I say? But I'm gonna show you the little clip why I said, yo, big up Budget Henry, the man himself at Harbour View. Big win down there at catching all. You get what I say? Now, a couple years now, Harbour View no beat Mobay, they're gonna catch now, so big up Harbour View. But guess what, people? The JPL is up on us again. You know, match day 2 has come to an end. You know, it's finally come to an end, and you know, more for go on a little story. You know, more for go on a little story. I think, you know, as me doing JPL videos, me go on some little story. I have a whole lot of story that I can give about the JPL, my personal experience with my father watching the JPL, you know, for a decade before he migrated. You get what I say? So from 2000 to 2010, you know, right there, the 10-year span, we watch the JPL religiously. You know, we watch the schoolboy football religiously. I have some whole lot of a story can tell. You get what I say? But soon as me see something happen, and as soon as I see a little play, something click back in my mind, and I just remember back something, you know. But I remember the days, you know, when, you know, living in Jamaica, you know, me and my father before he migrated, before me, yeah. And you know, his job was to rewind alternator, you know, rewind the AC motor that run in the car, you know, rewind the motor that run the windshield wiper. You know, basically almost everything in the car that has a motor, you know, that run with a motor, you can rewind it, either the fan, the iron, you know, you name it. You get what I say? And I remember when between Monday to Saturday, you know, I used to go to school early, you know, the morning shift, or if it's an evening shift, you know, I used to go to John Mills, and you know, it's a 2-shift school. And you know, talk about morning shift, you know, used to come home early, you know, reach home by 12:15, 12:30. I used to be outside by 12 o'clock before the gate bus. I used to be like that. As 12 o'clock come, I'm out. You get me? I say straight. Me I run down Russell Road. I come down, you know, for catch Max Hill, go up Palm Avenue. Yeah, cause guess what? Me know some my father have some work for doing. You know, that's when schoolboy football I go play. We used to watch schoolboy football every day. We used to watch the JPL every week. You know, big up Arnett Gardner again. And you know, I used to help him out, you know, just by doing the little duties them, you know, just by, you know, hurry up to go watch schoolboy football. But that was like our little food basket, you know, to help put food in the house, to help bring me to school. But we have to make sure, say, yo, help him out, you know, break up the bamboo them, you know, help burn the alternator, you know, cause we have to make sure so the job done quick as possible so the customer can get them job. And you know, we make sure so, yo, him gonna get him paid, because I say when the weekend come, we are gonna got a JPL games. And that was it. And early 2000, you know, he used to be a man that, you know, boil peanut porridge, you know, he used to sell some of the famous entertainer them around Kingston, yeah, at the time. You know, I remember Evo, Bogle, you know, Ding Dong, you know, John Hype, you name it, Beanie Man, all them guys used to come buy peanut porridge on Saturday and Sunday, and I used to see them. But that was a little hustle for me and my father, yeah, for make sure, so look, so when weekend come, we are gonna watch some JPL match, and we are gonna watch Arnett Gardner anywhere them there. The only stadium that we never went to, it was down at Froome at Westmoreland, you understand? So from the early 2000 till 2010 when he migrated, that was the whole story. You get what I say? I go on the next story next time again. But I mean, look, we there for chop up, you know. Me I start off with a Rudolph speed in the two, you know, it was a Rudolph derby, you know, Rudolph speed, and you have Rudolph Aston, you know, almighty God. You know, Portmore United 2. it pain, you know, but Portmore have lost 2 games on the bounce now. You know, Portmore have lost 2 games on the bounce. I tell you something about Portmore United losing those 2 games on the bounce, you know. You know, look. You know, so Portmore, you know, the first time suffering back-to-back defeat in a Jamaica Premier League season, you have to go back to April the 16th, yeah, when they lost 2-0 to Cavalier, yeah, and go back to April the 23rd, they lost 1-0 to Umberland. You know, it was a very good game. You know, the first half was a very good first half, you know, by Portmore. You know, especially I think Cavalier kind of sit back and just to see what Portmore will bring to the show. And I think Portmore, you know, dominate the majority of the part of the first half. You understand? I think the 3 players that in the midfield, you know, Sagal Knight, you know, Romero Guthrie and Ramon Owell, 3 beautiful midfielders, you know, in terms of quality in the Premier League, yeah. Those 3 players are very high quality player, you know, that can form a midfield 3 in the JPL. So when you look at it, you know, they mostly control the game in that midfield area. But again, I think, you know, not my classmate, but, you know, a former teammate of mine, you know, Steve Barnett, I think he was dropping a little bit too deep. You know, Jimenez get that goal. It was a beautiful build-up play. He got that goal and the runner play. He even got another opportunity, you know, to put the game ahead, you know, far from Cavalier. But when Jimenez scored that goal, I was like, whoa, is this a turn off the table for Portmore United? But then, you know, things kind of fall off the cliff. You know, after 5 minutes after the goal, Cavalier kind of step up the tempo. You know, John Mara Calvin started to drop in the midfield. You know, extra man in the body, and Cavalier started to dominate the game a little bit more and start to get more possession in their attacking third. You know, Romeo Guthrie, Ramon Owell, they just look like a ghost in that midfield. You know, you can't see them anymore. Sagan that was running, you know, tried to picked up every blade of grass, but the Cavalier team was just too quick in the transition. And, you know, the second half, Cavalier was nowhere to be seen. You know, they stretched the game far away from Portmore, and it seems like the old Portmore comeback. But when you look, you know, in between the game and put the game into context, you know, Portmore have a very good team. They have a very good defense line, and I think Peck and Stevie Young, I think it's Peck and Stevie Young in that back line. You know, about the players them that left Portmore, the players them that currently played last season that start in that starting lineup over the 2 games, you know, player like Emilio Russell, player like Stephen Young, you know, they have been underperforming. Player like Steve Barnett, you know, Shavani Walsh, I think that's a big miss for them. You know, I think if you ask me, the biggest miss for Portmore, it will be Shavani Walsh over Alex Marshall. You know, so I think, you know, the players in that performed last season that was there, you know, playing currently now, I think they kind of underperforming. You know, Emilio Russell not giving much on the defensive end. You know, he's not giving much on that attacking left hand side. You know, Jimenez on that right hand side was drifting in that, you know, that striker role. You know, so he was very effective in that first half. But, you know, because Cavalier was so strong, you know, you just don't know what you're going to get from this Cavalier team. You know, it's such a young team. I remember Arsene Wenger said, look, players under 23, you just don't know what you will get from them. And that's what, you know, we have seen, you know, over the years from Cavalier team. But Cavalier showed me that, look, last season, they started out the season on a poor form. You know, Montego beat them in the first game that they played in the Jamaican Premier League last season in match day 3. You know, go back before last season, 2022, 2023. You know, Arnett Garden beat them in the first game as well. So you have to go back a couple years before Cavalier have, you know, win the last time they win their first Jamaican Premier League game in the opening day, you know, in our fixtures. It was, you know, going back, and I think trying to remember who they beat. Was it Portmore? I think it was Portmore. I don't know, but I didn't look that up. But I think it was probably one of those teams. You know, but let me give you some, you know, some stats, you know, surrounded. But, you know, yeah, so let me give you some stats surrounded Portmore. You know, so Portmore, you know, conceding 2+ goals back to back. You know, they concede 2 goals against Mount Pleasant, conceded 2 goals against Cavalier. It's the first time since March of last season. You know, March of 2022. You know, they played 2 games, one on the 14th and one on the 21st. They lost to DUNBEHOLDEN 3-2, you know, lost 2-0 to MOLYNES. And if you go back to last campaign, you know, they have only lost one game against one of the top 6 teams, you know, that finished in the playoffs. So Portmore is a team that they don't really lose. Yeah, they don't really lose games against top 6 teams. They lost just one game. They have one of the best record against top 6 teams alongside TIVOLI and Mount Pleasant last season. So, you know, I'm a bit surprised, but you know, but big up to CAVALIER, you know, big up to Portmore, you know, but Rudolph Fasting though, I think when you look at Rudolph Fasting, he has a very good squad. Don't forget that he has a very good squad. You know, even though he have so many players came in, but he have a very good squad. Same way, but what I need, just take your time. Work on what you need to work on, because we see it in the first half that this Portmore team can play football. Yeah, this Portmore team can play football. Steve Subani tend to drop a little bit too deep at times. You know, one thing, the ball need to be running in the channels in between the center half and the wing backs, wherever side Steve Barnett is on. So, you know, he got speed, you know, he can finish, you understand? So give him the ball through the channels. He need to stop dropping a little bit too deep, you know, and allowing, you know, Jimenez to be running off his shoulder from off that right hand side, so they can cause, you know, a little disrupt right there between the two center half of any team, opponent team that they're going to play. You understand? So leave the little pockets in the number 10. You know, allow Romeo Guthrie, allow Ramon Owell to dominate that here, because they are very good on the ball, especially Owell. He don't really give away the ball. Guthrie at times he can play that number 10. You know, he can circulate the ball around and rotate it amongst the midfield and try to push the ball into the final third. So I mean, Rudolph Fasting have some work for do. You know, you have a whole heap of work for this. So let's see what Rudolph Fasting, you know, will bring to the table on match day 3. You know, big up Rudolph Speed. Coach started this season on a bang. You know, so moving towards the next game. You know, VERE Phoenix final off the mark. Yeah, VERE Phoenix final off the mark against a very struggling team, a team that continue to miss opening opportunity. This MOLYNES team, you know, is not an issue for them, you know, for not creating opportunities. They have created some of the clearest opportunities as a team that finished in the bottom 6 last season. So you have to give them that, and they will score. But just that they have to create so many opportunities. I don't know, man. This team, if they could have, you know, be a little bit more prolific in their finishing, they probably would have been right up there in that top 6, you know, challenging for a playoff spot. You know, but MOLYNES, you know, MOLYNES level match. Only 2 wins, you know, stretching go back from last season. This is their 5th consecutive loss on the bounce for MOLYNES. You know, and you know, when you look at it, you know, MOLYNES, you know, were unbeaten versus VERE since the 2022 season on match day 2, when the last time that VERE defeated MOLYNES, you know, so VERE Phoenix have broken that record. And you know, last season they started out the season 10 games without a win, you know, after they beat Montego Bay in Anthony Spalding Sports Complex with a shocking 2-1 victory over the Mobay team. And you know, VERE next game will be Lion and Portmore. So before me touch on VERE next game, I have to give the VERE technical staff, you know, Lenny Hyde, you know, Craig Butler, everybody, that the way how the VERE Phoenix have played, young players came in the starting lineup, just played schoolboy football less than 48 hours before the kickoff of that game. You know, Farbs, you know, such a brilliant player in that midfield. You know, I've always hearing Craig Butler talking about play like Robinho, Garden, you know, Mackenzie, Farbs, these players. You know, they were instrumental to what VERE did yesterday, but they will always concede. Craig Butler team will always play the island. They will always, you know, be a little bit vulnerable in the back. And I think a young team like this team, you know, trying to get to the speed of a Jamaican Premier League, you know, moving from schoolboy football to big man football, they're going to have to be a little bit more tight, because when they meet the teams that go into, not just say that, you know, when they meet the teams that, you know, have such a higher quality in the attacking third that will just need one chance to put away the opportunity, they will be struggling in terms of getting back into the game, because those teams normally when they score, just like a Portmore last season, you know, just 17 goals conceded, they only conceded 2+ goals or more through the entire season. They one time they conceded 2 goals last season, and that's it. Yeah, so if you meet a team like that, you know, who's on a very prolific defensive record, Cavalier, who went on a roll of not conceding in over 6 games, you're not going to get back into the game so easy. So VERE, things like that, and I still a work in progress, but I see this team can make some nice, but I don't think it will be so easy as they think it will be. Understand? So I think they will win some couple of games. The next game, I said it will be Cumberland, a team that's still in a transition period. You know, with I call him Coach Jose Mourinho. You know, Mr. Dookie, the man himself. Yeah, and Portmore, who is struggling. You know, Portmore 4th game will play VERE. So I don't know, man. Let's see if VERE can get 6 points in those next 2 games. Portmore is in trouble. Cumberland cannot score a goal to save them life throughout the whole campaign whenever they played in the JPL Premier League. Yeah, even when you go back to the 2022-2023 season when Cumberland, you know, finished in the playoffs, but they have the best defensive record, conceded 15 goals, just 6 goals at Effortville. Yeah. They scored less than 30 goals that season. So you know, even when Cumberland have strive and get victory, them still struggle to score a goal. And that season, I don't really want to go through too much of Cumberland file because I'm gonna get there in a matter of fact. Next up, you know, let we talk about, you know, the Cumberland. But did I say everything? Yeah, I think I talk about everything about the VERE and MOLYNES game. But Cumberland, TIVOLI Garden, you know, 0-0 draw, you know. Cumberland, when I saw, you know, the starting lineup, you know, for Cumberland last season, and I saw Rushy and Sharp, I saw Andre Clennan, players like these, if you combine their goals together for the last 5 seasons that they've played in the Premier League, they're not even gone double figures in goal tally between the two of them. You understand? Combine their goals together. So these are the reasons Cumberland need to go out there and get somebody that's going to be lethal. That's why I was saying Jason Wright, yeah, for MOLYNES, for the last 2 seasons, he have scored around 27 goals, double figures in back-to-back seasons. Yeah, I think he scored 15 year before and then 30 last season. You know, so he has almost 30 goals, you know, for the 2 seasons that he have played, 2022-2023 season and then 2023 and 2024 season. You know, so I was expecting a team to go out there and get a player, like, especially playing in a struggling team, yeah, and to score so much goal, yeah. But Cumberland, man, they're not going to get much goals from those players, you know. And let's look, Claire Clark. I'm a bit surprised that, you know, he was the leading goal scorer last season for Cumberland. You know, Claire Clark, I love that player. I love watching Claire Clark on the ball. You know, no Vanzi. You know, Vanzi, the year when they finished in the player, Vanzi was a top goal scorer for Cumberland that season with 6 goals. Yeah, last season it was Claire Clark. Is it Claire Clark and 5 goals? You know, he scored 5 goals last season out of the 30 goals that Cumberland have scored last season. So Cumberland, one of their worst season in the last 5 years, yeah, they have scored more goal last season than the season when they finished in the playoffs. So I don't know, it's just mixed feelings around Cumberland. But you know, look, let me say this, you know, Cumberland, you know, over the last 2 seasons, yeah. You know, so this is what I want to say. You know, Cumberland over the last 4 seasons, yeah, Cumberland have scored 94 goals over the last 4 seasons. You have Cavalier that scored 90 plus goals in the last 2 seasons. So Cumberland have scored 94 goals in the last 2 seasons. So now, Cumberland in some crisis when it comes on to goal. I remember even when, you know, rest in peace, Rafiki Thomas. I think Rafiki Thomas was playing at Cumberland at one time. He was bagging in the goals at one point. You know, I remember even when the Wolves brother were there, you know, it was a different story. I think Devon Adjis used to play for Cumberland as well. You know, correct me if I'm wrong in that comment section. You know, but TIVOLI, you know, when I really look at TIVOLI team, I want to go into the starting lineup, you know, because TIVOLI team, you know, it's still young, you know. I think, you know, when you look at Barrington Price, an elder statesman for that team, he's going to have to lead that team from the back. And, you know, you're going to have young Justin Dunn who's going to have to lead that team from the front. You know, TIVOLI have scored 6 goals and Umberland last season. They beat them 2-0 at Effortville. They beat them, I think 4-1 at Stadium Ease. You know, so they scored goals on that team, you know. So I was a bit surprised that game drew a little bit 2-2. Maybe Tivoli is a bit rusty, but I'm just still fascinated to see what Umberland will bring to the show, because Umberland is one of these teams that, you know, they are very, very hard rock team in the backline that don't really concede. As I said, 15 goals 2 seasons they concede when they make the playoff, the best in the league, and only 6 goals at home at Effortville during that period, you know. So they're going to have to get things better at Effortville. That's where they get most of their points. And when you're talking about getting home points that season as well, they rank in the top 4 for the most points at home. Yeah, so I mean, not much to say about that game. You know, Tivoli Garden, you know, scored, you know, I said it earlier, Tivoli Garden have scored 6 goals against them last season. You know, now Tivoli is 4 games without a win. You know, Tivoli is 4 games without a win. If you stretch it, go back to the playoff game with Waterhouse and the tail end of their season. I think they lost the last regular game in the regular season of last campaign. Mobay beat them 2-1. You know, so let's see, man. But I think Tivoli have a really good team, you know, because when you look at it, you know, Steve Clark, you know, Justin Dunn, you know, Barrington Price. I said that, you know, I think Thomas is still a good player. You know, Radico Wellington, you know, is still there. You know, a player that, you know, I really love for Tivoli, Nikolai Fuller. You know, he's very good 1v1, technically gifted of beating anyone that stand up in front of him. You know, so when you even look at a man like, you know, Devin Garnett, you know, in the midfield, didn't even play in the game, you know, really good midfielder as well. You know, I think Jerome Wade still have a very good team, but let's see how he's going to rotate those players, you know, because Jerome Wade team is a very good team, and I want to see Jerome Wade team played on TV to see what they're made up of, you know. So let's move on to the big game of the week, you know, the big surprise. Look, people, watch this and then come back right here. So, you know, just watch a little clips, a couple seconds clips, what I said about Bojo Henry and Harbour. I don't think Bojo Henry will last out until the Christmas period. I don't think he will last out to the whole 39 games. I think it will be tough on him. You get what I say? But let's see what Harbour will bring to the table. But look, and I'm not going to stop saying the Zapata ball. This is how I call the Mobay style of play, the Zapata ball, the Argentinian code. This is how Montego Bay will be playing. Yeah, look, Mobay not going to lose not one game at home this season. I call it early. Yeah, Mobay will not lose one game if they lose. You know, so big win, big win for Harbour, man. Big, massive win, massive. I think this will do Harbour a whole lot of morals connection with their players, with their own self. Of, you know, confidence is a key. Yeah, confidence. After I lost that game last week over Arnett Garden against Chapelton Maroon, got played at the park majority of the games. No, this is a time for Bojo Henry to kick on. Can this be the turn? Yeah, but I mean, Harbour, you know, when you look at Harbour, you know, they have broken Mobay long beaten record at home, 6 games unbeaten streak. But one of the positives that they didn't got that clean sheet was that game, that 10 games now Montego Bay is scoring 10 straight games that they're scoring in, you know, and the record still alive. I think Arnett Garden was the last team that stopped Mobay from not scoring in a game in that 0-0 draw down there at Westport Park. You understand? And you know, their 11 games unbeaten streak is over, you know. So Harbour have broken, you know, shattered the records down there at Catchinall, down in the poor rain in Montego Bay. I'm proud of Harbour, but if you know that between a Junglist fan like me, I'm always going to tout, I'm always going to mouth, I'm always going to trash talk Harbour, because that's what they do. You know, they have always provoked Arnett Garden when Arnett Garden was in the root of the deep and rock bottom sea. Cannot win a game, so I have to give them back. This is their payback. But you know, get back to the football. But I think Harbour, you know, it should do some moral good for them, you know, confidence. It should give Bojo Henry some confidence. And I know I have said that, look, he didn't know what he was doing on the sideline. It seems like Harbour lacked intensity. And I don't know, I heard some goals that got stolen away from Mobay. I don't know. Again, that was a game that that should have gone on TV, but nobody saw that game. But who was there and who got extra video clips from people that was watching the game at the stadium. But when you look at it, man, it should do well. Let's see if Harbour will kick on next game. Who Harbour will play? Let's take a look to see who Harbour will play. But Harbour will play their next game against MOLYNES. So Harbour next 2 games will be MOLYNES and Umberland. They should get 6 points from those games before they go into the game, with Portmore United after the international break. So after the international break, they will have Portmore, Waterhouse, 2 tough games coming up for Harbour. So yeah. Much love and respect. Big up Harbour. Good to see that they get their game, but I didn't expect Mobay to lose at home. I did not expect Mobay to lose at home. I expect this team to go and beat at home. Is it at Westport Park or Catrinal? You understand? DUNBEHOLDEN and Racing, the team that is causing a whole lot of problem. Unlucky that it's not 6 points on the board already. They were so fortunate not to get that penalty goal against Waterhouse that should have put them ahead in that game. But unfortunately, unfortunately I should have said, unfortunately they didn't get that 3 points, but they make sure that they've done the business in the St. Catherine derby. And this team is a very good team. This team is playing the football really good. But what really are going on at DUNBEHOLDEN? What really are going on? After Lenny Hyde is not at the helm anymore at DUNBEHOLDEN, obviously, because you want the VERE thing, and Lenny Hyde, Philip Williams, a man that said he was going to take a break from football. Yeah, he took the job. He said it was a good project. Yeah, he's a coach at Stats St. Andrew Technical High School. Yeah, he is a teacher there. When he made their Portmore last season, yeah, and a coach Stats, and I do him things same way as a teacher, as a professor, a man himself. Portmore lose them first game last season against Mount Pleasant. I think 1-0 down there at St. Ann, yeah. Them go on to win 3 straight games. I think they unbeaten in their next 6 games after that, are 5 games. We never hear no OSF in terms of any local connection with Philip Williams now. But I understand, say, being a teacher at Stats, being a schoolboy football coach at Stats, it's almost the same drive, yeah, from Spanish Town Road down there at Greenwich Farm into St. Catherine. But DUNBEHOLDEN might be a little bit more further from Portmore Field, yeah, just probably like another 10 to 15 minutes down the stretch more from further into park, yeah. But what is the issue? There has to be some issue, man. It just can't be Philip Williams not really have a time. I know this man probably must have a family. Look, being a teacher, being a high school coach who's going to coach the team after school finish around 1:30, 2 o'clock, then after drive go in a St. Catherine, in a Portmore traffic there. It's a whole lot of time, and then training not done until like 9, 10 o'clock. By 11 o'clock he might probably reach home, depends on where he live. Then I don't know if this man have kids or family, a wife or something. He must remember, he must study the other team. He must do extra work for Portmore. He must review back game for Stats. He must review back game. He must review back classes for Stats for the students. It's a whole lot of job. It's not easy. I understand that. It's not easy, but again, man, I don't know, man. But big up to Philip Williams, but Philip Williams is not at M anymore. He resigned from his position. Where would DUNBEHOLDEN go from here? Because they are Portmore rock bottom of the table. I don't know where they will go from here, man. Trust me, I don't know where will Portmore go from here. It's sad. It's sad what's going on at DUNBEHOLDEN at the moment. A team that look, but DUNBEHOLDEN, don't be scared. DUNBEHOLDEN fans, don't be scared. Cause remember, I think last season, DUNBEHOLDEN first 4 game, draw, lose, draw. Yeah. After that, they went on a 9 game. Yeah, they went on a 9 game and a good streak where they won 6, last one and draw 2. So DUNBEHOLDEN it took on a 4 game before you get on the first 3 points after campaign last season. Now on gone 2 games, and then Dunbeholden catch up at 1 point. Dunbeholden was right up there with Waterhouse, Montego Bay, and themselves trying to get into that top 6. So I mean, people, if you love the review of the Jamaican Premier League and Nicardo Media House, smash the like button. You get what I say? Really appreciate the people. Sooner again on the weekend, Saturday, look out for the preview for the Jamaican Premier League show and Nicardo Media House. You understand? A whole lot of vibes, a whole lot of thing going over here. So with the preview and review, really appreciate everybody that's been giving me the support and the Morning Insider show, the Jamaican Premier League show, and the Nick and Dan podcast. Yo, shout out to Daniel Football Show. Yeah, go over there and give him a subscribe. You understand? His channel right up there on the screen. So bless up yourself, people. Thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House checking out back again. Until next time, see you guys in the morning for the Morning Insider show. I'm out. Salute.